Alright friends, listen. I am going to literally forget throughout this video to say, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share, right? Hit that notification bell so that you will be able to know when I have other videos uploaded. I am definitely going to forget to say that, so I'm saying it now. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're enjoying this video, or if you feel like what I'm actually sharing is something that is hitting close to home. All right, so with that being said, let's get to the video. Good morning, friends. Let me get my looks together this morning. So if I look a little dark, I apologize. I'm really pumped to be able to see how this camera is going to work, because I upgraded my phone, and I have been looking for making an investment to get I'm looking for something to put on my lips, guys, so give me a second. I've been looking for like a camera that I could use, you know, while I'm vlogging or whatever. And I've just been searching for something. Okay, so I want to make sure that it's like a really good camera. So I actually have been looking at some of the YouTube channels, here and there. Some of the persons that I do watch, like some of the bloggers that I watch, they have been, I'm not gonna jump in front of you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get over. Alright. So some of those, like some of them do mention the kind of camera that they're using it, and if they happen to upgrade, sorry for the sounds and stuff. If they happen to upgrade, you know, their camera, like they would usually mention what kind of camera they have, blah, blah, blah. And I've been kind of keeping note of it, but I want to, like, if I make this investment, I want it to be, like, number one, something that I will be able to use, something that I feel like would be very user-friendly for a person that's really getting acclimated to using a camera, so on and so forth. So, today, I was supposed to basically talk about, like, my next video after the last one that I put up was supposed to be talking about joy, okay? And how you can find joy within yourself and not having to look for others to basically give you any joy. So, or that they should not be your source of joy. So guys, remember, if you see me not looking at you, it's because I gotta keep my eye on the highway. My last video was supposed to be a two-part video, but this one is actually going to be a two-part video because I want to talk about joy in this video, and then in my next video I want to speak about the telephone game, and what happens in the telephone game, and how sometimes people make a misstep in the telephone game. So joy, speaking specifically of joy, before I even go there, guys, because I feel like my brain is like all over the place, and I do almost feel like I need to talk about the telephone game and then come back and talk about joy, because I feel like I have an overflow or an abundance of experience with the telephone game that I feel that I really want to speak about it, so much so, more so than the joy. So I think that I'm going to talk about the telephone game first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give my experience without naming names, and then I'm going to tell you what I think should happen when people have issues with other people. So as you know, the telephone game is a game where you are whispering something inside of a person's ear. That job of that person that is listening is supposed to go and tell the next person what was stated verbatim, right? By the time you get to the last person, it should be exactly what was stated verbatim, right? More often than not, what has been proven is that by the time it gets to the last person, it either sounds embellished or absolutely positively nothing of what was stated the very first time. This has everything to do with a person's auditory skills, like their listening skills. It has everything to do with how well that person is able to it's your listening skills, and it's also, I'm sorry because I just got sidetracked. Sorry. So it's that person's listening skills and also their comprehension skills. Like, what did I just hear, so I could go ahead and tell the next person what it is that I heard, right? This is also a good example of you hear what you want to hear. Okay? So the reason why I am saying this is because I feel that more often than not, what happens in the telephone game is that you believe that you heard what you heard. Therefore, you go to relay what you believe that you heard. Not necessarily verbatim all the time, which is the reason why by the time it gets to the end, the message is altogether different. The conversation would have been altogether different. The word is altogether different. The sentence is altogether different. So, with that example, let me just say I experienced that. What I experienced was a game of a person playing telephone to multiple people, and by the time it actually got back, some pieces of it was embellished, or some pieces of it was like altogether wrong, or maybe it started off altogether wrong, like it might have just been a flat out lie. So what happens in that is you have people who choose to believe what they hear, and then you have people, when they choose to believe what they hear, they share what they chose to believe. Even if it was the whole thing or aspects of it, by the time they process it, demonstrate their comprehension or the understanding of what they were saying or what was told to them, it gets totally misconstrued by the time it gets to the next person. So once it actually wraps back around and comes to me, it has now become something altogether different. Or it'd just be an event that just never even took place, period. This is an issue that I'm noticing that is happening again via these YouTube streets. I am not going to name names because I feel that, as I have demonstrated, I've been through the same thing, and everybody has experienced the telephone game at some point, whether it was something that was major or something that was minor, right? People often only hear portions and not all things, and by the time the next person gets it, it's altogether like not the same, and then you find yourself having to provide clarity. Usually the telephone game happens when somebody wants to gossip about somebody else. You want to gossip about that person simply because maybe you have a disdain for that person. Maybe you're at odds with that person. You could be jealous of that person. Or maybe you just run your mouth too much and you just feel like you want to talk about people, period. Like, I don't know if that was my number one, but I feel like that might be that should have been number one, right? So if you happen to fall in any of those categories, right, of it is good. I want to take the one where, regardless of why you're running your mouth about somebody, if you have an issue with that person, right, then you should go to that person and talk to them instead of playing the telephone game. If you are experiencing any kind of technical difficulties with that person, right, and let's just say that you like you don't like what you hear, right, you don't like what you heard, and you decide that you want to confide in somebody else, you need to make sure that that person that you're confiding in is also a trustworthy person where you don't have to worry about hearing anything back. So or hear about it later because it was translated through the telephone game. Most often what I'm noticing is that relationships, I don't care what kind of relationship it is, I don't care if it's like a friendship that's like a brotherhood / sisterhood, whether it's a friendship whether it's a relationship whether it's husband and wife, whether it's a relationship between a member in his church, whether it's a relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend if they're actually in courtship, whatever the case is, right? It should not matter what kind of relationship it is, right? I do believe that matters should be held in private, right? They should be dealt with in private. But if you're choosing to go to social media about your issue, which is something that I would never think is wise, you should only go on there if so, right? If justly so, you should go on there to only speak or take up your issue. Again, I'm saying that I don't condone it. I don't think that it should happen. I think that all issues should be handled in private. But the way that these YouTube streets and social media streets actually work now, people feel like they should put everything out in the public. Like you should publicize everything and not handle things in private. Not really using wisdom in the sense that if you decide that you want to do that, you're going to have people who take sides, you're going to have naysayers, you're going to have like a gambit of people that will decide that they want to add their measure into a situation that has absolutely positively nothing to do with them, and they probably like 99%, unless you're a family member or a very close friend, you weren't there and you don't even know what the ham sandwich actually was going on because it happened behind closed doors and off of social media. So voices have a tendency to sound off and embellish or add to the friction that is already there. But I'll say it again, if this is a choice that you have taken, I really feel that it should happen without you bashing a person or exposing too much information about somebody to the point of where you're literally trying to tear that person down. And I'm saying it for both sides. I feel like that's a huge misstep that most people make because, number one, we're human and we're all emotional beings, whether it's male or female. More often than not, guys try to act like they're not emotional, but that's a whole lie because, they'll be up on social media running their mouth, saying things just about as much as a woman would. So, I'm just saying, like, if you decide that you want to go into these YouTube streets or on social media to put your business out there, I again feel like you should only do it from the perspective of speaking in the first person to talk about what you experienced without having to slay this person's name, without having to defame that person's character, because that person has to still have a way to survive. And if social media or YouTube is a point of that security, that financial security or financial stability, that I feel like you should not try to do things to tear that person down, right? Let's just also say if that person has a job in the private sector, right? That's also damaging as well. Like, people have lost their jobs as a result of things that have happened via social media. Like, I just feel that you should not try to come for a person so much so that you're really cutting their source of livelihood. Like, I just don't think it should happen. Which is the reason why I think that things should stay off of these YouTube streets in the first place. I'm just, it's just me. That's just what I'm saying. That's just what I say, what I have to say. But we already know that people are going to be emotional and not do that. So, because I feel like I'm rambling, but I hope that my point is coming across. I have a couple of suggestions, and one of them would be to, number one, if you feel that you need to go to social media to spread your business, that number one, you should do it in a way that is problem solving, where you have a mediator that is not connected to your issue. Like, personally, everything that I'm saying right now are things that I believe that you should do in private. But if you feel that this is what you must do via social media, I feel that what you would do in your private life is what you should do also on social media. So, like I said, you should definitely get a person, a neutral person, a person who does not choose sides, a person with a leveled head, a person that has a real connection with wisdom and a real connection with the Lord, that will be able to talk to both sides and get each side to be able to see where they went left. That's my whole period. That is what I would consider to be a counselor, a mediator, or whatever, right? The same way that you would get somebody in your private life to do that is the same way that I think that you should do it via social media, right? If you cannot do that, then I honestly feel that you should keep your business to yourself. This is just my thoughts, and it may not be commensurate to somebody else. I personally don't even care, but like I said, I just feel like it shouldn't be out there in the first place, because even in your private life, you have enough people in your business as is. Like, adding tens or hundreds of thousands of people inside of your business socially, publicly, is just, or can be just as damaging. So that is my spill. That is what I wanted to say. If you like this video, if you think that what I'm saying is unrealistic, you can still comment at the bottom. If you like this video and you feel like you're feeling what I'm saying, I'm just going to ask you just to, put your comment down at the bottom, like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you will be able to know when I'm uploading another video, because I will be uploading more. I just feel that, the way that people go about problem solving with people who are in the public eye is just really jacked up. And I just, it's messed up. It's just really all together messed up. And I just feel like if you want some solution, you want closure, get it the right way. Stop trying to defame or tear down a person in order for you to feel vindicated. Like, so that way it won't continue to drag on and on and on and on and on. You actually will already, have dealt with it publicly via a mediator, or counselor, or you've dealt with it privately via the same exact way. All right, so that is my spill. Again, I'm about to close this out for the 15th time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this